I got a desire for velocity, or something along those lines. Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. You are watching Nub's Collection, a YouTube series dedicated to the cataloging and review of every game in my physical media collection. As always, I am your host, Victory Nub, and today we are looking at Afterburner, released in March of 1988. This is a pretty straightforward action game. I'll be perfectly honest, I was terrible at it. Probably because I didn't understand the controls, or possibly because the controls weren't as precise as they probably should have been. So, as usual, this game was released, published and developed by Sega. This was kind of one of their tentpole franchises in the early days of the Sega Master System. They actually had 3 of them that they were kind of hanging their hat on. This one, Hang On, and although I don't know if this was necessarily one of their prime series, Alex Kidd. I honestly never played Alex Kidd, but I know that a lot of people have memories of that game. For some reason, it was hung up pretty heavily on playing Rochambeau or rock, paper, scissors. But that's not what this game is, so let's get into the instruction manual and do the story setup. Instead of a what's happening section this time, they give you a mission profile. And let's do our deep, serious voice, or as deep as I can go with my high-pitched, raspy voice, what have you. Mission profile. The time, the present. Location. Aboard the aircraft carrier Sega Enterprise, somewhere at sea. You're a Navy air captain, with the fastest, meanest set of wings ever to hit the skies. You fly an F-14 Thundercat, the perfect mix of man and machine. You supply the skill, reflexes, and guts. Your Thundercat supplies Mach 2 plus speed, unlimited firepower, and a state-of-the-art battle computer which targets your enemies. When it comes to flying the unfriendly skies, you're the one they call the Ace. The mission? Codename Afterburner. The enemy has developed a strategy that'll help them conquer the free world. This plan is so secret that it was divided into 2 parts and hidden in different parts of their country. Naval intelligence has discovered the locations and are ready to deliver them. But they need you to get the plans out. You must launch from the deck of the Sega Enterprise and battle your way to the 2 locations. Your flight pattern is already programmed into the battle computer. Your F-14 Thundercat has been armed with air-to-air guided missiles and a Vulcan 20mm cannon. Fuel tankers are in place to refuel you in the air, if you make it that far. The enemy knows you are coming, and they're prepared. Only a pilot with your experience has any hope of success. Enemy aircraft have been sighted on radar. It's time to scramble. Good luck. The fate of the free world depends on your success. And that's it. That's your story setup. So, I guess they didn't want to offend any potential countries that might have served as enemy combatants in 1987 when they were probably making it. So, of course, it's just the enemy. As cowardly as that is. But let's go ahead and get started. Ooh. I always like hearing recorded voiceover work in early games. No matter how mild or tiny it is. So, this game made the choice, whether it's right or wrong, to invert the up and down to, I guess, mimic flying. And I'm doing a terrible job of killing people. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, well that was fast. I read in the instruction manual that there is a trick that you can do to avoid missiles, and I have no idea if I'm going to do it right. There it is. You do a barrel roll, apparently they miss you every time. What I do remember about this game, what little I do remember, is that in the early stages, if you just hold left or right, the missiles go right under you. Make things a lot easier. Ow! That didn't flip the way I thought it would. And I fear this is the kind of game that if you watch instead of play, all the hard cuts left and right are very disorienting, so I do apologize in advance. This may be one of those episodes that you listen to, not so much watch. Hey, we made it through the first level, and I only died once. Gotta be honest, I'm a little disappointed you don't hear my engine jet? Whatever it is. No! Oh, this is what I get for trying to be fancy and barrel roll around that one. What you're supposed to do, and I don't think it's ever going to work, is you left and right at the same time, or, well, you go left, then right, and it'll, there we go. It'll barrel roll. I did it twice. I'm just doing it like crazy. Now, they did give some specific ship design names in here, and they all sounded like aircraft that were probably made by the Soviet Union, so just keep that in mind. They didn't name the enemy in this game. It was just the enemy. And I suppose if you're an expert in military aircraft, you look at some of them and you go, oh, I know what that is. It's a Harrier or a MiG or... Yeah, I don't know enough about aircraft to be able to say with any confidence what I'm looking at with each encounter here. Also, it's not the smoothest graphically that it could be as far as moving objects. I can't complain. For a game that came out in 1988, it looks pretty good. I mean, the F-14 Tomcat looks like what I imagine a Navy fighter jet looks like. I have no frame of reference. And of course, if you're talking about... Oh, I'm dead. If you're talking about a game about fighter jets and being a Navy pilot, there's a movie that comes to mind. It's a movie that comes to everyone's mind. Top Gun. A movie that I don't know if I've ever seen all the way through. Yes, you heard me right. I don't think I've ever seen Top Gun. Don't mind that. That's just Amazon telling me a package arrived while I'm in the middle of recording. I don't know if that recorded or not. Yeah, unfortunately, it's... I just never really had a taste for... I don't know, the genre of fighter pilots, I guess. I don't know if it was... I have a theory on what caused my distaste for it, but I think it was more... something I didn't like about fighter jets than the quality of the film itself. When I was a kid, one of my favorite TV shows, of course, I think a lot of kids would say this, was Transformers. And if you know anything about Transformers, you know that the Decepticons had a weaselly little rat second in command by the name of Starscream, whose transformed version was that of a fighter jet. And I really disliked him. And I think that may have tainted my taste for movies involving fighter jets, because it was like they're all just that weaselly character that I don't like from Transformers, which is ridiculous. There's no tie between actual fighter jets and some character from a cartoon show about robots in disguise, but who said you ever had to be logical when you're a kid? Boop, boop, boop. Now, there are very few things I remember with any detail about this game, beyond the fact that you could just dodge missiles by turning left or right for the first couple of levels, and then it works perfectly fine for a while, but eventually the game will actually start firing missiles that will hit you no matter what you do. As far as turning left or right, they want you to do the mechanic where you barrel roll. And that's understandable. They put in a mechanic that they thought was so slick that they want you to use it while you're playing the game. And if they have to force you to learn it the hard way, then they'll make it so that you can't just dodge missiles left or right. But one of the other things I do remember, and well, in theory, see at some point here at the end of the third stage, I think, they put in a refueling ship that you're supposed to attach to mid-flight. And it involves lining up with the nozzle that comes down and pressing some buttons. And I think I was capable of doing it when I was younger. Who knows if we'll get to that point today. It sure would be fun to see, but I won't make any promises. Oh, man. I didn't see that coming until it was too late. $129,180 points. For reference, sometimes I thumb through the instruction manual to see if I have a score that's even better. Apparently, I was very proud of myself back in the day. On July 16th, I don't have a year, I scored 1,531,600. So, much younger me apparently had a killer run one time. And felt so proud of it, he wrote it in the scorebook. This may be the one and only time where it would have been appropriate to use one of the sticks, the joysticks that I had. Simply because, you know, if you're flying an aircraft of this kind, you're probably using one of those flight sticks. But, yeah, I didn't feel like pulling it out of the storage just to use it for this. The D-pad will function just as well, and it won't make all that loud clicky noise that I've complained about many times. Come on, go after him. Why aren't you hitting anything? Gotcha. Uh-oh. Whew. Trying to hot dog. I want you guys to be so impressed with my skill today. Even though I don't think I ever beat this game either. This is one of those unbeatable games in my catalog of hard arcade-style video games that I just wasn't good enough for. And honestly, I never understood why it was so impossible for game designers to just give you continues. I get it, you want kids to get better at your games, and sometimes you have to do that with a little tough love, but continues mean you learn how to do the difficult enemies, not just the easy ones. Alright, I'm starting to get a feel for this. I'm gonna be a killing machine by the end of this level. Uh-oh. Oh, whew. Those are some menacing-looking missiles, I tell you. By the way, if you were legitimately this successful at shooting down enemy aircraft in a real combat situation, I'm pretty sure the military would just immediately promote you to, like, a 5-star general, if that's even a thing. They would make up a 5-star general position because you're killing hundreds of enemy fighters every single time you go out. And you're doing it with a minimum of weaponry as a result. I mean, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much ammo they carry on fighter jet, but I don't think it's 100 or more missiles. I don't think they can fit that many on the wings. And I don't know how many bullets they can carry. Bullets? Whatever the cannon shoots. Oh! You would probably be lauded within your home country and viewed as one of history's great mass murderers by everyone you went up against. Gotcha. Come on, guys. Line up. There we go. Got some Harriers. It would help if I actually looked at the radar, which is part of my problem here. I'm not looking at the radar at all. Oh, those sneaks! They all lined up straight in my line of fire and then got away. I always thought those, what I assume are Harrier jets. Oh, here we go. Come on, up. Hey, I got it. Apparently it just involves you mashing the attack button while trying to hit the nozzle on the screen there. Oh man, I just beat the crap out of young me. That kid ain't got nothing. I'm the greatest game player of all time. Let's put it this way, the military may have been interested in me as a prospective fighter pilot back in the day, but they see my score now, they're just going to have me executed. I do not understand the fields I'm flying over. I like this alternating left and right for missiles strategy is working too. Maybe it's not exactly how they wanted you to do it, but I don't care, it works. Whoa! Ouch! Man, that crashing animation and sound effect is just brutal. Uh-oh. Ooh. Get him! I think those are supposed to be helicopters, but it's really hard to tell. And what I'm assuming are Harrier jets coming in from the front there, they kind of look like dragonflies from the front. And maybe that's kind of the idea, but I don't know. I also like that they decided to fly all these missions on perfectly clear sky days. Absolutely no clouds whatsoever. Oh, look at that! I feel like such a hot dog right now. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there may be some combination of this game and the character name from Deja Vu, which was one of the old Mac Venture games that inspired one of the first video game nicknames that I used in just about everything, which was Ace. Although I did use the full name from Deja Vu for a lot of games if they gave you the room to enter all those letters, which was Ace Harding. I always loved that name. Go get him! Ah, come on. They're flipping all over the place. Level 6! This may be the furthest I've ever gone in this video game, and just have no idea, because I never did any better. Wow. I tell you what, this strategy of just going left and right is definitely working. Oh. Of course, shooting their missiles down also seems to work pretty effectively when you do it. Yeah, see, they're starting to get real close to me whenever I manage to dodge them, so I think that's the game's way of saying, listen, kid, you're doing a really good job of just alternating left and right, but one of these times we're just going to peg you with one of them. Nice try tumbling into view, but I got you. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hi. Okay, get out of the way. Oh. No! The Harrier ran right into me. What a jerk. Alright, gonna take a quick refresher. I'll give that another try. We were starting to get a feel for it, and then the enemy decided to just commit Harry-Kiri in me. Kamikaze? He flew into me. I'm not sure which one is the appropriate term. I think kamikaze is. Oh, no, you don't. Now, and it probably goes without saying that if I didn't really care for the movie Top Gun, I probably never bought the game Top Gun, but I do know that for the people who were fortunate enough to have experienced it, it apparently had one of the toughest landing sequences in the history of video games. It was nearly impossible to do safely. The good news is that this game does not ever put you in that situation. I think if you actually manage to get far enough to land, the game kind of just does it for you. Because they recognize the thing you want to do is fire an impossibly high number of weapons at the enemy, and barrel roll, and try to target your fuel tanker. And they stuck to their guns, so... this was an arcade hit. How do I know? Well, it says on the packaging. Now, they definitely did have multiple releases for this game back in the day. If any of you have ever seen Terminator 2, when John Connor and his buddy from Salute Your Shorts decide to go to the arcade, of course, what game do you see him playing at one point? That's right, Afterburner. And I think maybe Narc? I can't remember for certain if that was the other game. But it was also the arcade version of Afterburner, so it looked and played far better than this game does. Which goes without saying. You know, the arcade, you could have dedicated hardware designed for one game only. And I think it might have been a pod that moved with the ship. I don't know for certain. That may have been a little bit early for an arcade game to have the capacity for. Shot his missile down. Oh boy. Come on, guys. Yeah, there you go. Gotcha. Whoa! Okay, that was close. Oh, that thing was like an inch away from hitting me. Nope, I'm still terrible at this game. I guess that kind of figures. I think we've gotten a good taste of what this game was like. There's not a whole lot of additional depth beyond that. If you got far enough in the game, and of course I was terrible at it, so I don't think I ever actually did, there was a boss encounter that you could find near the end of, I think, the first half of the game, and then the second half, obviously. It was just a really big plane that had multiple targets you had to shoot, and it'll be nice to do that. I don't know if I would ever want to watch a video that had this much rolling around. Would probably make me super dizzy. So, I think this episode's as long as it needs to be. Let's go ahead and move into the review phase. We'll do the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, obviously, the ship design looks really cool. When you get shot down and crash into the ground, it's an impressive effect for a 1987-88 game. The music is okay. I mean, it's not terrible. I don't think there are any earworms in this collection. The bad, as I mentioned before, at some point the missiles just seem to hit you no matter what you do unless you're barrel rolling all the time, and barrel rolling is not easy in this game. It's supposed to be you go left for a certain length of time and then right a certain amount of time and then you flip, or vice versa, right a certain amount of time then left. But I couldn't get that sweet spot, and I kept trying it, and it wasn't really working. Not to mention, as I had mentioned in one of the playthroughs for, or not the playthrough, but the Nubs Collection episode for Space Harrier, they tried to have a 3D aspect to this game. This one did not have an actual 3D release, but you have objects that are approaching you from the foreground, including missiles, and it is very hard to tell when something is going to hit you. Unfortunately, no matter how hard they tried with this effect, it just never felt like you could gauge it. And the frame rate may have something to do with it, because it was not a super high frame rate for these ship models. As far as the ugly, I mean, there's not a whole lot of variety in the gameplay. It's just dodge left, dodge right, and shoot things, which isn't a whole lot of fun. Maybe if they'd introduced the boss aircraft a little bit earlier in the game, you could have fixed that, but as it is, the gameplay is kind of boring. As far as a score, I think we're going to shake things up a little bit going forward. We had a star count, basically, for everything when we were doing a review for 1 to 5 stars. And after our playthrough for Golvelius Valley of Doom, the Nubs long play for that, I decided we needed to revamp the review metrics. And going forward, instead of stars, we're going to use my good old buddy, the Watchful Protector, Randar. So going forward, it's now going to be on a scale of 1 to 10 Randars. And today's game, I think we're going to have to give it a 4 out of 10 Randars. And if I'm not being lazy, I'm going to put a little bar on the bottom showing 4 Randars. It's kind of boring, to be honest. If they had found a way to add maybe some different kinds of missiles or different aircraft, and especially making it a little less nauseating, which also would kind of go under the ugly category, maybe it would have gotten a higher score, but as it is, this isn't the kind of game that I would probably ever go back to play on purpose, instead of it's just part of my YouTube series. So I think that'll do it for this particular episode of Nubs Collection. As always, I do appreciate everyone watching my videos, and I will see you next time.